Hey, I hope you're getting excited about your trip to Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to walk you through your documents real quick. You should have received an email from me that looks similar to this. And you can either click View Online or View in App. We're going to click View Online today. If you had clicked on View in App, that's going to prompt you to download the app. And the good thing about the app is that you'll have all this information at your fingertips without having to use Wi-Fi or cell service. That's really good when you're traveling. So just keep that in mind. You might want both versions. Okay, so over here you can see you can easily skip to different days just by clicking on over here. But we're going to start with the information and documents section. That's the part that nobody likes, but it's important. That's got all your useful information. Ignore the titles here. I'm just using samples. This is very similar to what you received, but not identical to what you received. This is a very generic video. So I've given you your flight information and your travel documents, and all you have to do is just click on these little paper clips to see those. If you have leisure carrier insurance, I've given you information about that right here. If you have some type of other insurance, I've given you information about that there. If for some reason you cannot get in touch with me, I do sleep, I do have a life. I've given you the 24/7 phone number, the people that you need to call if you need help with anything. I've told you how to dial international phone numbers. I've also mentioned that if you're staying at a resort that does have restaurants that require reservations, I highly recommend that you do that when you check in. So a lot of times those restaurants will fill up if they require reservations. So do that as soon as you check in. And if you don't get what you like, check back later. People will book and then cancel all the time. A lot of times these resorts have a dress code. Sometimes I include that information in your documents. Sometimes I don't. It depends upon if I can find it or not. ID required for travel. You are traveling international, so you do have to have a passport book that has to be valid for your entire stay. And since you're going to Mexico, I've given you some information about the country of Mexico and specifically to Puerto Vallarta. This is going to be a letter that I've created about things you need to know about Mexico and and just travel in general. So it's a good idea also to call your credit card company before leaving to let them know that you're going to be out of the country so that you don't have any issues. I will say that I would carry a Visa or a MasterCard because American Express and Discover is not widely accepted outside of the United States. And even though you're staying at an all-inclusive resort, be prepared that they're going to want to put a hold on your credit card for incidentals like the spa or shopping, that kind of stuff. I've given you some information about your flights and some general tips that I follow and stuff about flying in the liquids rule. I've encouraged you to register at step.gov for the STEP program. This will keep you alerted to any issues that are in the area you're traveling to, and so that the U.S. can find you in the event of an emergency. Here's some very, very important information is when you are traveling to Mexico, you're required to fill out a Mexico tourist card and you're going to want to print it and keep it with you. You're going to fill it out before you go, I think it's like 72 hours before you go. So you're going to go to this website right here and you're going to fill out all the information that they need from you. Starting down, start your application. This is where you're going to start. My computer will cooperate with me. So you would just start here and just fill out your information. So you can do that pretty early. So go ahead and get that filled out and be sure to print it and carry it with you. Printing is key. It's going to get you in and out of customs a lot faster. Immigration, sorry. Also, before you do that tourist card, you're going to have to pay the tax that they require, the entry tax that they require. So you'll go there, come here, and then you're going to make your payment. It's going to give you a receipt number, and then you're going to submit that receipt number with your Mexico tourist card that you're going to fill out. So remember, pay the tax first, then the Mexico tourist card. And be sure to keep it with you, and you're actually going to need it to exit the country. So don't throw it away. I got super busy trying to clean out all the paper that you have to travel one time, and I threw that away, and it cost me $60 to get a new one. Once I got to the airport, I got all the way up to check in. Didn't have that. They sent me over to a desk. I had to pay $60 per person to get that tourist card again, and then go back through the line to check my luggage. Big pain in the Tahootie. They also are going to require you to pay a foreign tourist tax, which sometimes the hotel collects that. I would just wait till I got to the hotel. If you want to be super efficient, you can go to this website and pay for it. Just be sure to have your receipt in case the hotel tries to charge you for it. I would just wait till I got to the hotel. Told you about the mobile passport. We'll come to that in a little bit. I've included some information, the Travel 42 report. I'll show that to you in a minute. But I do want to reiterate, never travel alone, especially at night. Also in Mexico, most resorts have very slick floors, and even if they just get damp a little bit, they become super slick. So just be aware of that. And I've told you, stay away from illegal drugs. Vaping is actually illegal in Mexico, so stay away from vaping and drink only bottled water. And at the resort, you'll be fine, but when you're out and about, be sure that you're only drinking bottled water and stay away from frozen drinks away from the resort. Again, at the resort, you're going to be fine because they're going to use filtered water, even for their ice. I've given you the embassy's contact information should you need it. I don't think you'll need it, but just in case. And I've talked to you about putting your phone on airplane mode so that you don't get charged the hefty fees if someone calls or texts you. Most likely, your cell phone provider includes Mexico. You just have to call them and have it activated. And then, like my cell phone provider does. So I've activated it. And then when I'm in Mexico, I can use my phone just like I'm here in the United States, except for just like I can here in the United States, except for dialing the United States is a little different, but I'll get to that in a minute too. And I do typically carry $50 to $100 and $1 and $5 bill for tip. $1 and $5 bills for tipping. A small tip goes a long way in Mexico when it comes to service levels. So I've learned if you just go ahead and give them a little bit of a tip, you're not gonna have to wait for a drink. But that's up to you and what you want to do. If you're going to an all-inclusive resort, it's not expected, but it will make a difference. Okay, so that's that. Here is the Travel 42 report that I was referencing. It's got a lot of information in here. It's easy to skim over. The biggest thing that I want you to pay attention to, a lot of this is just educational purposes, but the stuff I really want you to pay attention to is way down here, apparently. Oh, here we go. The security, personal safety, health, do's and don'ts. I want you to really pay attention to that. That's the most important thing that I really want you to pay attention to. That's important information. And then going on, okay, I've told you again about the Mexico tourist card here. We've already discussed that. And I've talked about the paperwork to exit, the tourist tax. I've given you customs and duty information. This will be important if you want to like shop for tequila or that kind of stuff so that you know what the rules are. And once you get back to the US, you're going to have to pick up your luggage at baggage claim and recheck it if you have a layover. And this is a great time to put alcohol that you may have purchased in a duty-free store after you've cleared security in Puerto Vallarta. This is a good time to stick it in your checked luggage because if it's an odd shaped bottle or if it's thick glass, it won't pass through security because you're going to have to go through the liquids rule again once you get into the United States, and you're going to have to dispel of all of your water that you may have bought at an airport, that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to clear security again, just like you would when you were going to Mexico. So just be aware of that. I always take the time once I get my luggage before I recheck it on my way back to just open it up and just put that bottle of alcohol I may have bought in the middle so that it's well protected so it won't break. But that's going to they can confiscate it. And if you spent like $150 on a bottle of tequila, you're going to be mad if they confiscate it. Here's the mobile passport app. The key thing about this is that it's going to help you clear customs and immigration when you get back to the United States a lot faster. So go ahead, download the app, get it set up because it's going to want like a picture of your passport and some general information. You cannot submit the questions until you get back to the United States. So if you have it set up, though, it's going to make it a lot faster. Get it set up, and then once you land at the United States, the first time you touch the ground in the United States and you're able to take your phone off of airplane mode, go ahead and take it off of airplane mode, go into this app, answer the 5 or 6 questions they have for you, submit it, and you're going to get some type of confirmation that you've submitted it. And then once you get in the airport, look for the mobile passport app line. It's going to be a lot shorter, a lot faster. You're going to get out of customs a lot faster. So And if you can't see it, ask an employee and they will direct you to that line. And a lot of times they want to actually see proof that you have submitted that questionnaire already. So be prepared to show them that. There have been a couple of times I've had a glitch with this app and I was able to fix it by either doing a hard reset on my phone, hard restart on my phone, or I had to actually be inside the airport before I could answer those questions. It just depends on your location. Be aware of luggage fees. When you do your online check-in for your flight, they're going to prompt you and let you know how much the luggage fees are. With international, you typically get one free bag, and then after that, there's a charge for it, anywhere from $40 to $50 a bag. Be prepared for flight delays and cancellations. Just be aware of it and be willing to roll with the punches. If you happen to get delayed really extreme, like 6 hours or more, then be sure to ask for a hotel voucher or, well, hotel voucher if it's going to be like an overnight situation, but you can ask for a food voucher or a lounge voucher. Airlines don't have to give you that, but a lot of times they will if you're nice to them. The most power, if you have some issues with your flight, is always going to be the gate agent. So go straight to the gate agent. If you need to reschedule a flight, I would get in line to talk to the gate agent and then be on the airline's app trying to change the flights myself, because airlines have made it super easy to change those flights yourself through the app. So, but at the same time, I would be in line because I'm sure you're not the only person that's being impacted by this. But the gate agent does have the most power. So go talk to them, be nice, and remember they have the power. They have a lot of power. And be sure if you have insurance to save any receipts for any meals, or even if they give you a voucher, still save the receipts so that you can make an insurance claim if it's warranted. Remember, travel's an adventure. Nothing's going to be perfect. So be willing to roll with the punches. Be flexible. Oh, back up here to no, we'll come back to that. Who to call? Okay, I've already talked to you about who to call about flights. If you have any issues at the resort, I promise you, they want you to be happy. Go to the front desk, talk to them, tell them what your problem is, and give them the opportunity to resolve it. If not, let me know, but I'm telling you, we have the most power while you're in destination and not when you get back here. So it's easier to fix while you're there than it is once you get back. So just go talk to the front desk and tell them your concerns, because I promise you they want you to be happy. Giving you some tips on how to stay healthy while you travel. So there's that. And of course, I've got a COVID travel advisory. And now we're to the actual itinerary. So 24 hours before your flight, you're going to need to go onto the airline's website and do your online check-in. So in this particular situation, it was delta.com, and I will give you your flight locator number to make it easy for you to reference and get checked in real easy. You're going to need to be at the airport 3 hours prior to your scheduled departure because it's an international flight. If you're flying from a major airport, you might want to get there 4 hours prior, just because of traffic and parking and security and all that. So, but you could be denied boarding if you're not there at least 90 minutes before your flight. So I've given you your flight information. And then once you get to your destination, I've given you, this one doesn't have it, but I'll have details right here about how to find your transfer. Usually you're going to clear customs and immigration. You're going to get to the outside hall, and then most of the time you have to walk outside and look for somebody holding a sign. All right, so then you can check into your resort, and then the day before you leave, again, 24 hours prior to leaving, you're going to have to check in online for your flight again. And at some point, 24 to 48 hours prior to departure, you're also going to have to reconfirm your return transfers. So just be aware that you are going to have to be responsible about 24 hours before you leave, the day before you leave. So when you check out of your resort, be sure to physically check out. If your resort happens to issue wristbands, they're going to want to collect those before you leave. Also, your transfer driver is going to want some type of proof that you settled your bill with the resort before they will take you away from the resort. So just be sure to physically check out. I know we're used to just getting an email on our phones these days to say, hey, thanks for staying with us. But in this situation, you need to physically check out. And I've given you information about your transfers to the airport. You can anticipate a return transfer time of about 4 hours prior to your flight. Again, you have to be at the airport 3 hours prior to your flight, and then that gives you about an hour transfer time. And then there's your flight information. So that's that. At this point, after you've read through everything, after you've watched this video, if you have any questions, give me a call because it's going to be more in depth than just a quick yes or no text or email. So just give me a call and we can talk on the phone. And I hope y'all have a great time. If you don't have any questions, look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great day.